numbers is really diminishes everything to me. We're not numbers, we're all people are being helped, or, you know, everybody's brother, sister, all that rap. It's true, and if we talk in numbers and stats and percentages, it diminishes everything to me. So that's one thing that everybody can agree on. Services and program, more peers. Again, that's where I feel like I'm on my own mark because I'm a peer. But I think, you know, there's a real feeling, this is, you know, something I get from being peers, that there's an us and them kind of camp thing going on with the service providers and people on the street. And that can be bridged in my mind by, you know, those types of things are derived from ignorance. And the more peers we have interacting with people, the less ignorance there'll be, and the better everything will work for everybody. Constantly, things like a lot of things. So yeah, more peers. What was this? Oh yeah, I wanted to touch on what a great campaign, that red tent campaign that put on was, and with the eye to one of the things that we need pushing, or the thing that needs pushing, is the federal government to get off their butts and have a national housing strategy. And if we could utilize that great campaign that they had with the red tent thing nationally, that would be beneficial because that was such an effective campaign. I don't know if we could do that, but if we could, that would be pretty effective, I think. And the study part, if you really want to see study, for research, the value of engaging the craft community through housing and relation centers, addiction and homelessness, housing first, and that's that.
Thank you. And we'll just sort of work our way to the middle. So, Evie's table?
Okay. Well, some people are born public speaking, and others are thrust into it by these. Definitely a playground, DTES, there we go. Well, we had pretty much a free form here, but some of the nuggets that came out of it was the collective experience of the group here is that the downtown east side, and certainly probably Toronto and Ottawa, you plug one hole where there's a gap, and then 5 other holes start spurting water out. Now that could be depressing to some people, but I think ultimately at least you know where the wall is leaking. So we shouldn't get discouraged, because I think with the experience of the safe injection site, one of the big lessons we learned was, my God, there's no services at night. So I think collectively here we all have stories of how you fill one gap and then 5 other holes spout up. But in terms of how this actually dovetails into research, we like to look at some of those service gaps and have research look at how service gaps can actually be addressed. I mean, my experience on the downtown east side is there is a lot of anecdotal community-based wisdom that is largely ignored until the house is burning down. Certainly the stories of the, now that we have the review of the missing women, how criminal justice handled that, I mean, I've been out here a long time. We all knew that Robert Pickton was in business, but it took a long time for community-based knowledge was seen as more than being anecdotal. It was actually seen as being fact. So I think a lot of times, one with my previous speaker, talking about the wisdom of peers, like a lot of times we know what we know, but it isn't actually taken as being a truth until the researchers are flown in. That's a problem, but I'm glad that we do have researchers who are willing to listen to us. And in terms of, sorry, I'm rambling here, let me ramble. So another thing we talked about again in terms of service gaps was having all this great stuff in this community, which we know we do and we're very proud of, yet people don't come to it. And often, certainly my experience of the community transitional care team is, I often feel like, well, we care, but you really don't. I have to drag you to the doctor's office or drag you to this service. And I think Avery put it quite poignantly, you can be the best damn barber in town, but if no one knows you're there, no one's getting your hair cut. So that was another thing we like research to look at, is how we can get the folks who need us to better access what we're doing and to see why they're not coming to us often when we're really right under their nose. There's got to be something we're doing wrong or something we could be doing better. You know, on a personal level, I know as a man who's over 45 years of age, I dodge healthcare like bullets. I really do. There's no reason for me to be doing this, but but I do. And if someone were to sit down and say, well, Ed, why don't you get your blood pressure taken? Why don't you go to that doctor that's a block away from you? I'm just fucking scared. I don't want to know the truth. So there are a lot of truths we can learn from people in the community, and researchers obviously are there to facilitate us. And just as I was about to launch into this, Lindsay just came up, perhaps something that's near and dear to my heart, I know hers, and many of us here. I think some of the cutting-edge medicine in this neighborhood, I would say, my 11 years experience is food. And in terms of getting bucks on the street on a food program, it's some of the most difficult money you're ever going to access from the federal government. They will reluctantly shell out money for housing. They will reluctantly shell out, money for teams of researchers on the streets. But if you want to get them to fund 3 square meals a day for your fledgling clinic or your hotel, you're begging and begging and begging, and it comes down to being something stupid like $1 a day per person. I don't know about you, but I wouldn't eat too well on $1 a day. So I would certainly like to see researchers to look at the correlation between addictions and food. What we've found is that you feed someone 3 times a day, they're less likely to be doing crystal meth, cocaine, and heroin. Again, I've heard this time and time throughout the day. It's not rocket science. And it really hurts me to see the good that our food program does on the very little it has, and knowing full well, anecdotally, if that program is funded robustly, how we'd see positive outcomes in terms of the nutrition of the neighborhood and positive outcomes in addiction. So I'd really like to see research look at the relationship between providing this population with nutritious food, having teams of nutritionists come to this neighborhood and look at how feeding people can have positive outcomes for their health and sanity. Great idea.
Hear, hear. Okay, did you guys have anything you want to know? That's great.
Hi, my name's Ray, baby. We talk a lot about common sense and the complete lack of it that we have in our government and everywhere else. And as we just heard, we all have anecdotes and we all have little stories, and everything seems to be known within the community. But it's not until we get some research on it that we go, oh, hey, yeah, we already knew that. Well, that's just common sense, isn't it? And that's, we talked about looking into non-drug or pharmaceutical medical interventions, because, drug companies out there run a lot of what we do and they're pushing pills at us all over the place. And the fact is we didn't have pills 100 years ago, and we got by quite well to where we are today without pills. And I'm sure we'll get by in the future without them too. We should be looking at lifestyle changes and stuff like that more than trying to push a pill at a person. And for the homelessness and stuff like that, Damien works with finding housing, and I know I work with the outreach program, and I know they do a lot of good work around the community finding people housing. But how about looking into more long-term connections with people you find your housing with, make sure that they're doing it right, because you already have a connection with them. And keep your connection and keep in contact with them. They're more likely to stay where they are. And we got to look into our government's issuance of welfare, how they're dehumanizing us more by taking their social workers and making them look at us more as numbers. They don't want to have any personal connections with the people they deal with. And, basically, it comes down to stories.
That's great. Thank you so much.